Hello, my name is Victoria,
And my name is Bernadette.
and the aim of our project was what are the densities of Tuja plicata and Polystichum munitum in Pacific Spirit Regional Park.
As for some background of these species, Thuja plicata can be shortened to thipple and is most commonly known as the western red cedar. It can be identified by the scaly consistency of its branches. Polystichum minutum, or PAMU, is also known as the sword fern. It is most easily identified by the lance shaped of its pinna, or leaflets, and the very prominent sori that are found on the underside of its leaves.
Both Polystichum munitum and Tuja plicata are easily distincted from other species of their kind, and also they both were very important resources to the First Nations people and can be seen as two plants that make a climate of the forest of British Columbia.
In order to answer our experimental question, 10 5-meter square plots were randomly chosen to represent the populations of thipple and PAMU in Pacific Regional Park.
The area that was surveyed during this experiment is outlined in blue, and in order to figure out what areas of study are we going to choose, we dropped a highlighter 10 times, which helped us identify the specific places.
These 10 dots, labeled A through J, were then digitally recreated on the website G4 Maps. The coordinates that we found on that website were then plugged into Backcountry Navigator, which is a phone app that we also used in the forest to locate all of our plots.
Once in the forest, the plots were measured using a 5-meter long ribbon, and the corners were indicated by 4 small pylons that you can see in the corner of the slide. In each area, a quick sketch was made to determine the number of Tuja plicata and Polystichum munitum, as well as their relative distances from each other. They were used in determining the qualitative data and comparing it to the GPS readings that we got from our phones.
In order to see the sketches that we made for each one of our plots, exit this presentation and zoom into each one of the pictures. The distance between each plants of the same species was calculated later using movable type script. One of the problems that we encountered during this experiment was that it was a little difficult measuring the plots because there was undergrowth that was obscuring the most straightforward path between each corner.
Also, we could not collect the data in plot I due to the thicket growing there, which made it inaccessible for us to measure. And finally, the GPS range showed a high uncertainty of our data, which can be later seen in the error graphs.
Here you can see the data we have collected for thipple and PAMU. We have counted the total number of species that we have found, the average per 5 meters squared, and the standard error for that measurement. Also, the average distance between each individual species and the standard error for that. And finally, we calculated the density of species per meter squared.
In the first graph, you can see a comparison between the number of plants in each plot. The selected area is named from A to J, and the number of plants is shown on I-axis. And you can see that error bars are slightly higher for Polystichum munitum than those for Tuja plicata, And also you can see that there's most commonly only one type of plant in each area. In the second graph, you can see distances between Thuja plicata plants. You can see that error bars are relatively low, and that most commonly the distance between the plants is between 2.4 to 3 meters. Finally, in the last graph, you can see distances between Polystichum munitum plants, and you can see that the range of distances is very huge, as well as the standard error for the number of plants, for the distance between plants is. And this shows a great uncertainty in our GPS measuring devices, since some measurements exceed the area of plot that we have selected.
In the future, if this experiment were to be repeated, we would suggest that the distance between each species were to be measured with a measuring tape to decrease the uncertainty of the measurements.
In conclusion, the density of Polystichum munitum is higher than that of Thuja plicata in Pacific Spirit Park.